name is Matt, and thank you for tuning into the channel today. Before I get started here, I wanted to say thank you. I have 247 subscribers. When I went on vacation 2 weeks ago, I had 190 some. And I was very happy. I'm always happy. It's just so great. I'm just so excited and so grateful for everyone. And then I posted the video on the controversial back here, and it's gotten so many views. So thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I never tell you have to subscribe. I'm not here really for that. I'm just here to share my love for Star Trek and its toys and its props and all of that stuff. So I'm very grateful for all of you stopping by, taking a peek. Thank you so much. A lot of people commented. It was wild. I don't think I'd ever seen that many comments. Varying degrees of comment too. Some for the positive, some for the negative. And I understand all of it. It makes sense. The thing is, and this is a Playmates thing, and it's been a Playmates thing since the 90s. They're kids' toys. They are $30, $35 pieces of plastic with electronics inside of them. Now, we can talk about how they compare to Diamond Select. We can talk about that posthumously because Diamond Select no longer makes these toys, unfortunately. And I understand that a lot of people hate the holes for all of the screws. And again, I feel that. I completely do. It makes sense to me. I'm not hip to the screw holes. I'm not. But we're entering a very weird era that I want to talk about a little bit, along with illustrating a couple of things. And I've got all of my Playmates toys out here to kind of show the various stages and the various degrees throughout the 90s, really, where quality varied immensely. Some of these things have stands, some of them do not. Some of them have wheels for whatever reason, and we're going to talk about that now. First, let's take a look at what had stands. And these are the 90s versions. So this is the USS Defiant, and of course this is the USS Voyager. And then we have the brand new 2022 Enterprise from TOS back here. I don't understand why they decided to go from this wonderful footprint, and let me see here, there it comes right off. See, look at that. There's enough surface area here to where they can do that. Not really a lot of surface area there. They could have made it part of the battery cover like they did this one. Show that off here if I can. There we go. See, it comes around. See, and I need to take them batteries out. Oh yeah, I was showing off the really cool. Yeah, because the nacelles go up and down on the Voyager. So I'll take those batteries out right now, actually. But as you can see here, it's part of the battery cover. So yeah, so here's this, and it kind of goes up in, and then there's a little screw hole right here. So you've had those two options available to you, but instead they went for this. Oh, is that even supposed to come out? You have all of this range of motion. Look at what you can do here. You can move it. There's a little pivoting ball. There's a pivot here. There's a pivot there. But unfortunately, it don't go. It really can only be one way because of how the thing is balanced. And the footprint is so small. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It does seem like a step backward. And other people commented. I guess that does come out fairly well. So there's that footprint. Other people commented about how the deflector dish looks bad. How I even mentioned how these don't spin. There's problems with it. But what people like me who have been collecting, these Playmates toys for a little while, kind of compromise at is quality. From here back, from here, it looks nice. It is a great looking ship. It really is. But you get in here and, the flaws are there. All the screw holes. Yes, I agree. The screw holes are terrible. There are so many of them. They could have filled them. But let's take a look real quick You know, and they commented, Diamond Select, you know, they filled their screw holes. They did. Oh, goodness. Okay, well, that's going to fall out. All right, well, we'll just play with it. But, I mean, and yes, you can't really tell that well unless you're close looking at it. But there's their screw hole fillers for the, I believe this is the HD version. Those covers are very visible. I mean, there's one right there. There's one right there. One down here that's a little bit better. But I mean, that could use a little bit more pounding in. You know, I mean, the Diamond Select had its flaws. It did. It produced a beautiful ship. This is arguably a beautiful ship. I don't think I have any. No, I don't have any batteries in it. That's good. But the footprint of the stand, I mean, the Diamond Select stands were awful. So it's really hard to compare these without just saying, you know, they're both awful. The footprint is a little different. It seems like you got a bigger shoe here. They went artsy. There's a very bad fault point right here where I've had several snap, especially the ones that were balled. This one is more of a peg with kind of a ball joint at the bottom, so you kind of grip it from here in order to pull it out. The other ones, the ball joint was up in the ship, so when you went to pull it out to move it around, it would snap. So this is just a terrible weak point right here. So Diamond Selects, and I've replaced, I'd say 50% of the Diamond Select stands with laser cut acrylic stands. So, and you know, the fault points, not there. There's no fault point. This is really strong, thick plastic. Everything swivels. Every joint has a swivel point, so it's less likely to be stressed and broken. The biggest problem is, I'll move this out of the road again. Beg your pardon. I mean, the biggest problem is this thing it's not balanced. I mean, what's the balance? I mean, you're going to put more weight in the ass end or the front end. I mean, that seems pretty ridiculous. For the next point that I'm going to bring out, this is a $40 toy. I was able to buy it for $30 when the Amazon sale was going on. So these are, for lack of a better word, cheap. They are. And you can complain about, you know, the screw holes. You can complain about how the nacelles are so far apart and not far enough apart. You can say that they're too straight. You can say that this deflector is, you know, orange or brown, you know, depending on the color of the dress. You know, you can complain about how the, I mean, this is a really weird design choice to make this clear rather than red, because the impulse engines are red. You know, that's just the way it is. But, you know, and you can complain about that. But because it is a $40 plastic toy, I personally don't know why you would focus on all of the faults and not focus on the fact that it lights up really pretty. When it's sitting at an angle like this, it looks wonderful. You miss the screw holes because you've got all of this ship here, and arguably one of my top 4 ships, really. There's just so much going on here. The biggest flaw, and the only one that I will not account for, is this stand. The stand's terrible because, I mean, look at this. This is from the 1990s. This is the Defiance stand, and look how robust. I mean, granted, it is just one position. This does not swivel. This does swivel, but it doesn't matter because it has to be at a single point, otherwise it's going to fall over. So 1 step forward, 3 steps back is basically what we're looking at here. So, I mean, I understand the complaint. I understand the issue. I understand this is not perfect. However, unlike the Diamond Select, which I'll bring back out here real quick, unlike the Diamond Select, this is $40. This was $60, a roundabout. I think the most expensive one was the Enterprise D and the Enterprise D Dreadnought, which I think was around $80. $75 if you were lucky, $80 if you got it at retail, I believe. And of course you get better lights and you get more, you get what's expected out of $75, $80. I mean, you get these lights blink, you get a nice light here. The nacelles, of course, the Bussard collectors do not twist, but they do light up. The impulse engines do not light up, but they are there and they're red. It's a trade-off. It is a higher quality product, arguably, because I mean, the saucer section here could use a little tweaking. And then of course you've got these screw holes covers that are obvious. And it's just, you have to understand, these are budget collectibles. This right now, since it's not been in production for a while, and of course Diamond Select doesn't do ships anymore, this is going to be like $100 maybe on eBay. I think I've seen them for like 70, 60 bucks on eBay. Whereas the Voyager ship with a good box, these go for about $450, $500. They do, which is wild to me because look at their screw holes and the screws, all of them, so many screws and so many screw holes. But what makes this better, in my opinion, is how it sits. Look how it sits. I mean, you get this wonderful foot base here that makes it impossible or nearly impossible for it to fall over. I mean, look at it jiggle and it's just sitting there perfectly. You've got this angle. You've got this angle. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. To me, that's amazing. You get these great stickers. The stickers look great. I put these on myself if you can't tell, because it came in a box and it was completely unstickered. So I did that myself. We're not going to get this. Probably, well, they may re-release it for Playmates. They may do another mold pass. Maybe we'll get some textured windows. Make it look a little bit more HD-ish. But, I mean, this is basically it for right now. So we've hit the ones with stands. Actually, we haven't hit all of them. Let's do this one real quick. This one, to me, this one was the most impressive in its simplicity and its elegance, really. This stand is great. They could have just allowed it to sit on its pylons. Instead, they've given us this wonderful stand that looks like it almost belongs on the space station itself. And it just slips right in here like this. And then you've got the ship, and then it can spin. And I've shown the lights. It takes 3 AAA batteries at each pylon here. But yeah, and then it's got a couple of 4 different buttons for 4 different sounds. And then this one's red for some reason. I don't know why that's red. But yeah, and then you've got your Enterprise D docked at the pylon up here. These are a little, I'm almost afraid to do anything with them. They're a little flimsy. But the structure, the way it's built, the way it's presented, this is the epitome of, I mean, I love the Intrepid. I love the Defiant. But I feel that this is like the epitome of their collective shipbuilding prowess here. I mean, it just ticks all the boxes. It's got a wonderful way to display it. It's very accurate. It comes with a little ship to show you scale. The stand lets you twirl it around so you can get it at any angle. The sounds are actually fantastic. The soundboard in here is really great. It's just like the epitome of Playmates. But then again, look at all the screws at the bottom. And that's why I say when you're getting a Playmates thing, regardless of how amazing it looks here, you're still going to get all of those screw holes. The lowest point, I think the lowest point is this Phoenix back here. I think this is the end of their run, basically, because this is when First Contact came out and you had the Phoenix, the first warp-capable ship from Zephram Cochrane, And, you know, it's got, you know, it's got action movement, which is okay. The sounds are terrible. I don't even know where the sounds came from. It's like Aliens, the doors opening and closing in Aliens is what it sounds like when the nacelles open and close. I don't even think I have batteries in it. No, I took the batteries out. Go me. So, I mean, it's kind of the base. It's like the lowest point. And again, screw holes, all the screw holes. It doesn't look terrible. It just isn't the epitome of Playmates releasing items. A couple other mentions here. We have this Klingon battle cruiser. There is no place to have a stand. So, and it didn't come with a stand. It just came with all of the noises. And basically it's just the nacelles that light up. So, I mean, that's very base. And then you get this Romulan warbird, which is kind of cool in its own way. The only two places where it lights up are the nacelles, but the nacelles, they glow with a very beautiful blue. This was well thought out. But again, you know, there's no place to put a stand. So it didn't come with a stand. So it just sits flat on the shelf. So, I mean, you had varying degrees of ships coming out of Playmates. I'm not sure why that is, but that's, you know, that's just what, as collectors, we got used to. And then you've got the Runabout from DS9. Move this out of the road here. And what's hilarious about this, screw holes, of course, but it's got wheels. So obviously meant to be a kid's toy. And then of course it's got places for your Playmates figures to sit if their legs worked. Worf, I'm looking at you. So they had a place where they could sit there, and then I think the back end opens as well. Yeah, so you've got a place in the back end. Completely, totally inaccurate to what a runabout is, but it's a Playmates toy, and it's meant to be played with. And this one was played with because the batteries were left in here, and unfortunately, the battery compartment has rotted. It's a really nice thing to have on my shelf, just because I always liked the look of runabouts. They could kind of take care of themselves. They had warp capability. They were just really cool, bigger shuttles, but they were awesome shuttles. And I wish we saw them used a lot in like the first and second season of DS9. And then they were used less and less and less because of the Defiant. But I really like these. I especially liked it when they had the torpedo launcher on the top. I always thought that those looked really cool and really badass. So, but yeah, so I mean, no place to put a stand, and more so than that, it's got wheels. So, I mean, that is Playmates in a nutshell. Plastic, fairly cheap, but in the right light, looks pretty fantastic to me. And of course, Diamond Select, more of that, except better lighting in some aspects, a lot more verbiage on the sound chip, and better display ability, I think, in some cases. You put this in the front of your case, whereas you probably put the Enterprise in the middle or back, just so nobody looked underneath to see the screw holes. I mean, as it sits there, it's not a bad looking ship as it sits there. It really isn't. The problem that we're going to be seeing very soon is how the license has shifted away from Diamond Select. Diamond Select, which I would say was still affordable, yet just enough out of reach for some people, whereas these Playmates ones at $40, if you're a collector and you wanted an Enterprise, that's perfect. I would say that that's pretty perfect to have that on your shelf. Find a good angle to display it. Keep feeding it batteries, changing out the batteries, and, you know, enjoy it. The license is going to people that are going to make these ships unaffordable. So factory entertainment, and that may perk up some people's ears. It may not. Factory entertainment are the folks that put out the really cool Dustbuster phaser, the next generation Type 1 cricket phaser. They also put out, if I'm not mistaken, medical kit for Star Trek, TNG, and several other things. And those came at a very high price point. The Type 1 next generation cricket phaser was $299. There was a season 1 version of that cricket phaser at $350. The Dustbuster phaser was $550. They have received the license for making these ships. Now, whereas you are going to see, I would assume, a giant jump in quality. A giant jump. You would hope so, because they are going to be $15,000. And they've planned the motion picture version of the Enterprise. I think they're doing the Enterprise B and also the Enterprise D. So you're going to see a rehash. You're going to see a rehash of a lot of these ships because the dimensions are out there and they're probably fairly quick to produce. The version that I'm looking at right now of the motion picture version of the Enterprise, it's stunning. It's beautiful. It's well lit. The problem being, of course, it's $15,000 as opposed to $40, as opposed to $50, $60 over here. And to me, as a collector, that's a problem. However, since Playmates has released an Enterprise D, Playmates has released as well, and I have it right here. You may not like it, but I have it right here. An Enterprise B, based on the Excelsior class. I haven't put the stickers on this one yet. But yeah, this is the Enterprise B. I will flip her around here. Look at that deflector. You want to make a complaint, that deflector is blah. And unfortunately, this had never been opened, but the batteries are not working. So, and I tried, and they are unfortunately not working. But that's fine. It's mainly just to be displayed anyway. I'm not even sure what lit up. These nacelles did not light up. Probably the impulse engines, I guess, these two on the side, and probably the deflector dish lit up. But in general, Playmates, I mean, I'm pretty sure that this Enterprise is the most lit up product that they put out. Generally, they only have like 2 or 3 spots. With the Voyager model, I think it was the nacelles. I took the batteries out, but it was the nacelles and the deflector dish. With the Battlecruiser, it was just the nacelles. And with the Defiant, I believe it was just the nacelles. The nacelles again with the Bird of Prey. So, I mean, quality-wise, for lighting, this is the Enterprise that they just put out in 2022 is light years ahead of where they were at that point. And we may see them get better, and the price may not go up any more than it already is. But as I said, because Diamond Select lost the license, someone else has acquired it, and those ships are going to be $15,000 and completely unreachable for 85% of the collectors that are out there, including myself. I would love to have a ship like that, but it's not going to happen. I mean, $15,000? Absolutely not. Even when I had a job, absolutely not. But this is something that we have to, as collectors, we have to understand. We have to get our heads around. Licenses are going to jump. And the one thing about Star Trek that is the problem with Star Trek is that it's not Star Wars. Star Wars is in the hands of Disney until there's nothing left to milk. And that's just the reality. So you're going to get 3 different variants of Boba Fett. You're going to get Pride Day Boba Fett. which I have no problem with. Funny, but I have no problem with. You know, you're gonna get Han Solo in 12 different coats. You know, you're gonna get a tauntaun with a bow in its hair. I mean, it's just what Disney does. Disney has the marketing strategy and the toy know-how to take that franchise and milk it. Paramount and CBS. I mean, I saw the other day they've got bendy figures of Star Trek people, and they've done that before. I actually have a set of bendy figures in the box that were the villains of Star Trek. I think it was the movie villains of Star Trek. It's just something that you have to grasp, that we need to take what we can get. And yes, we could go on social media and we could complain to Playmates how this is not the greatest representation of the TOS enterprise, just in the exact same way that a lot of people went onto social media and said the exact same thing about Diamond Select. I mean, take a close look here. Look at where the line is here for the seam on the nacelle. It goes right through the NCC 1701. But look at the line, and I'm moving stuff around. This is fun. I like this. This is good fun. Look at the seam here. Look where they purposely put the seam. The seam is up here. It doesn't go through the sticker. It's up here. And though the sticker is haphazardly placed a little bit, the seam doesn't interrupt the sticker. So your eye's not drawn to the seam. Your eye's drawn to the sticker. Now below that, of course, are the screw holes. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. And yeah, no, I read everyone's complaints. I read everyone's defenses. And to be honest, they're all valid when it comes to Playmates. But they're valid when it comes to Playmates for the past, God, has it 30 years? Oh boy. Whew, 30 years. 30 years of Playmates making Star Trek toys. And this, regardless of how you put it in the pantheon of ships that have been released, this is a step forward. All of these lights, the nice sounds, the sound chip is great. This is a step forward in the right direction. Because, you know, with Voyager, 2 sets of lights, 2 sets of sounds. You know, Phoenix, worse, even worse. The sounds were the same. I think one was just a longer version of the same sound. You know, you've got the epitome of these, which is DS9. And then you've got the lowest point, which I would say is the Phoenix, you know, and everything in between is in between. You know, you've got some milestones, which is, you know, I think that the Intrepid here is beautiful. I think that the Defiant looks fantastic. I mean, the Defiant doesn't look like that. That is not a representation of how the Defiant looked in space. And then you've got this really weird action feature that must have been in the prototype Defiant. It's just very strange. It went away, and I think it just stayed like that, more streamlined. So, and then the lights, I think this lights up. The back end doesn't light up at all, and the deflector lights up. I mean, that's it. So, I mean, you have to understand, and it's hard to understand because you want quality, you want the best out of all of this. But again, like I said, Star Trek is not Star Wars. And every time I go to a toy fair, it's Star Wars out the yin yang. And then a couple of Star Trek things, a couple of things I already have. You know, I've collected quite a bit and I have a lot. And, you know, you're just not going to get anything unless they release it. And then, like I said, you know, congrats to Factory Entertainment for getting the license. But $15,000, that's too much. It's just too much. So we have to rely on this, and we have to understand that there may be a lull in affordable toys that we can collect. I'm not saying settle, but I'm saying, you know, watch the progress and admire the drive to put forth the best that they can at a price that's affordable for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this explained my position a little bit clearer. might not have. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down and I will do my best to answer them. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you later. Live long and perspire, because that's what I'm doing right now. Bye.